Hello everyone, Ellen Woodbridge here, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Australia. I would love to welcome you to the Night Angels video hop, and this month we are focusing on the new products in the Stampin' Up! Annual catalogue. So that is a look at the front cover of the annual catalogue. I have done a catalogue walkthrough if you haven't seen the inside, so I will be sure to link that below if you'd like to have a look. And these are the main three products, well, four products, and these are three of them that I will be using today to make my card. We have the Leaf Collection stamp set, the Sketch Butterfly bundle, and now I've got to remove a die out of here so I don't lose it. I have lost a die recently, so I'm hyper aware. And the other thing that I am using are the 5 new in colours. So we have Shy Shamrock, Peach Pie, Summer Splash, Petunia Pop, and Pretty in Pink. So this is the card we will be making together. I have done a bit of prep, but I did want to show you how I get a great image with a large background stamp. Now I'll be using my Stamparatus, and this is what we will be doing first today. I have already prepped all these strips, but it is a great technique to use. So I have my Stamparatus. Now I have already popped my stamp in. Now I will take it out and put it back in for you. So I don't have anything in my stamp positioning tool, so it doesn't matter what you use, but I don't have anything in here. So I pop my stamp down. Does the stamp need to be straight? Absolutely not. So I have here a card front size of basic white cardstock. So I'm going to pop that down. I have a little piece of washi tape here that I have rolled on itself. So I am just wanting to line up this piece straight with the stamp. So what I want to happen is this white piece adheres to the door and not the base of the stamp positioning tool. I know it seems very, very backwards, but trust me, it works. So this is dirty from me using Shy Shamrock, so I haven't totally cleaned it off, and this is my one ink pad that I am having some trouble opening. So I just pop in my paper snips and just give it a twist to open it. I do that very gently, but it is helping me at the moment. Now, my in color ink pads are really, really inky. I have previously used an ink. I have a dedicated ink bone folder, and I have buttered this ink pad down. So this is going to be a little more inky than when I used it earlier, but I'm just trying to pounce it just to get rid of any obvious lines from the edge of the ink pad, but it is going to happen. So I have my cardstock attached. I am going to show you that I am giving that a press, but I guarantee you that image is not fully filled in from the image here. So because I've got everything in exactly the right spot, I can come back in, put some pressure here along the edges, and pick it up again and see, do I have an image that I'm happy with? And I think I do. Now I can also look at the image here and see where there is extra ink. So I do have some extra ink here through the bottom half that I could pop back down and see if I can pick that up. Now, I do find I get a little bit more flexibility using the plate of this rather than using the base. I just find I get a better stamped image, and the fact is I am able to go in more than once and pick up all that ink. So I've just removed the ink from the plates here, and what I do, I just take a microfiber cloth and I just wipe off the excess ink. This is so I don't get it all over my hands or make my stamp positioning tool any extra inky than I need it to be. So I can remove this now. Now I do reuse this piece of washi tape many times. So I'm just going to pop that there for the moment because I'm finished with this. So before I do anything else though, I do want to close my ink pad because this is a disaster waiting to happen. Okay, there is a divot in the ink pad, and I use my paper snips just to close it so then my hands don't get inky, and always make sure it is closed all the way to the click to stop them drying out. Okay, so I have this piece, and what I did is I cut 1-inch strips. So I cleaned up this edge and I went along and cut 1-inch strips. So I've already done that with all 5 colors, and then I bundled them together, because what we can do here from the image, and I've actually done it this way, is I've replicated them in order to create a multicolored image. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I did have a little strip at the end left over that I discarded because I didn't need it for this project. If you wanted to keep that little strip and use it for something else, you absolutely could. So I am going to use this piece for another project, so that can go to the side. So what I have done here, and I actually haven't finished the inside of the card yet, I do need to add a white card insert in here, just so then I can write on it, and I could quite easily use a stamped off image of the leaf collection and then just write over it to decorate the inside. But I won't be doing that today. I will be showing you though how I created this outside. So I just have a piece of basic black cardstock. So I have scored on the shorter side, and then I have cut it in half lengthways to get this long piece. When I have landscape cards, I do like my fold to be on the side. I find if I do, look, it just happened like that. I find if I have a top fold, even though I haven't burnished this, they do tend to sag if someone wants to display it in their home. So I have just got into the habit of doing a side fold. And once I have burnished this, I will show you. That just sits up beautifully, and it will sit on someone's dining room table, a sideboard, their mantle, wherever they decide to do it. Now, because I opened that a little, I just want to re-burnish this. So the front of this card is actually fairly simple to put together. So I am going to grab each color. So this is Petunia Pop. This is Shy Shamrock. And I'm just grabbing one of everything here. I'm going to put the Summer Splash next to it. The 5 in colours work so very well together. I never have to think about what colour is going with what. It's just a matter of personal choice. So then I have Peach Pie, and for my last one we have Pretty in Pink. So they look fabulous. So now I'm just going to push these to the top here in order, so then I know where I'm going. Now, as for gluing these on, I find working outside in is easiest for me. Now, I'm using some wet glue, our multi-purpose glue, to give us some wiggle room. Oh, that one may be a bit low, but that's okay. I shall pop this down and kind of pull it up. Actually, that was perfect. May just want to pull it down a little bit. Okay, so I'm happy with that. I'm going to replicate this on the other side. So because I know where they're going, I can just roughly pop some dots of my glue down. And what I want to look at is the bottom edge, just to try and get it as straight as I can and as lined up. Now, because there are gaps in between everything, those little imperfections, if there are any, aren't going to be as noticeable, because not each of my strips here perfectly matches the one before it, but my the gap just creates the illusion that they are all absolutely perfect, even though there may be a millimetre also, or a 1/16 of an inch out. So let's do this one. So the width, the actual piece that I cut, because I cut it as a full card front, I haven't actually, I couldn't do a mat and then on the card base because I'd cut my strips before that. But if you did not want to put this directly onto a black card front, I do rarely use black, but in this case it just made everything pop so well, I just couldn't resist. So you can see here, roughly all of my spaces are even. My bottom is almost straight, and I'm not going to complain about how that looks. I'm going to let that adhere down, and we are going to get onto our stamping. So I've taken this butterfly and the sentiment from the sketch butterflies. So I've used this butterfly and this sentiment, and I'm going to stamp them in Stays On. Now I am going to need a scrap piece of paper here. So I've used a whole lot of white paper at the moment, and this is the offcuts, and I thought, oh, I'm going to keep them. So that is what I have done. So I do have this piece that I'm going to use with the sentiment. So I'm using my Stays On ink because I love how black it is. But I do find when stamping a sentiment with Stays On, I do like to stamp off to season my stamp. So maybe even a couple of times there. And then I'm going to go on to my cardstock, and I'm going to leave it there for the ink to transfer. So I am pretty happy with that. It's not perfect, but that's okay. I'm going to take another piece of white, basic white cardstock, and I'm going to ink up our butterfly. And once again, I am just going to stamp leave it there for a few seconds for the ink to transfer and lift up. And I love the sketch design of these butterflies, hence why it's called sketch butterflies. Pop this back on. Now I do need to cut out this butterfly using a die, so I'm just going to snip off the cardstock here because I don't need all of it. May have gone a little tight along there, but I'm sure it will be fine. So I'm just going to use my mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And there is something, and we are going to use a punch for our sentiment. It is one of our new label punches, and in the catalogue you can actually choose to get the stamp set and the punch, or the stamp set and the dies. So that's something new that has come in, and we do have two bundles that actually allow that. So that's lined up. Drop that down. I just made it bounce as I did that. I didn't drop it, I didn't push it down as I normally do. Now the two holes there at the top are so we can see the two antennae through it and make sure our lining up is correct. I think I'm on an odd angle. Why don't we get this on a better angle and then we can do it? I know some people do washi tape, but I do often find that the washi tape will tear with the pressure of the machine. So I'd prefer just to use my patience, which is normally quite thin, and just do this. Okay, pop this machine away because I don't need it anymore. Pop this back in the dish so I don't lose it. Oh my God, that couldn't have been more perfect if I tried. So that can go over there. And I just chose to use the black and white, so then those 5 in colors are the hero of the card. So let's bring in our sentiment, and this is our labeled with love punch. So I am going to make this shorter. So let me show you the original card. So this label is shorter than the original label, and I will show you how to shorten that. Okay, so I am aligning it off to one side. Okay, get rid of that paper because I don't need it. And I'm going to slide my punched sentiment in here, and I'm going to lift it up just a little bit so I know it is straight. Okay, so you can always do it a second time because you are not going to ruin it. So I am happy with my spacing there. So you can see we're about that much difference, and I just want to make it shorter. So that is our spare piece. That is our whole label, and I am most happy with that result. And you can do that to any size. So if you only needed the label to be half the size, you can absolutely do that. So this is the labeled with love punch. So now I can get to doing some assembly, and I do have just a couple of little gems at the end to finish off the card. So with a little prep of this background stamping and then cutting it out, it is then the perfect assembly line card. So just 2 dimensionals on the back here. And I am going to grab my Take Your Pick tool, and this is with the crafter's tip attachment. I've got the hook end. I find this, for me, is the quickest and easiest way to get those backings off, and I do just have a little bin off to the side. So this can go anywhere you wish on the card. So I think though I am going to line this up a little differently to how I originally did it. Whoop, I did just drop my butterflies, so just bear with me a second while I pick that up. Oh, and I dropped it again. Do you often have dropsy days where you drop things on the floor? Oh dear. Okay, so where I've got this here, I could actually put my butterfly on the left or on the right. But what I'm going to do, I am just going to floof these wings. So I've just done a very soft scoring, and I think I'm going to I'm still going to leave it on the right hand side. I think I'm happy with that, and I'm just going to use a couple of dabs of glue. So just 2 will do, tiny little dots, and I'm just going to pop that there. I do like that there is a connection between the butterfly and the label. And then I'm going to bring in some brand new embellishments. These are the iridescent faceted gems. So these are brand new because we don't have the rhinestones anymore, and these are the gems. So there is quite a blank area made by the sentiment here down in the corner. So I thought these iridescent gems are going to pick up all the colors in the project and just go perfectly to draw your eye to the sentiment and to unify all those colors. So this is my finished project that I just made with you then. So I really love that I just left these black and white so the 5 in colors can sing. So Petunia Pop, Shy Shamrock, Summer Splash, Peach Pie, and Pretty in Pink. Now this is my first version, so I'm actually very happy with those. And to go over the products that I used the Leaf Collection stamp. I used the Sketched Butterflies stamps and dies, the Labeled with Love punch, and the 5 in colors. So that is the 5 in colors, and of course the iridescent faceted gems. If you would like to purchase anything and you are in Australia, I would love to help you. I do have links to where you can find me and other things that I do in the comment section. If you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to ask. Have a good day, and I look forward to seeing you next month for the Night Angels video hop. And don't forget to go visit and leave some love for our other creators. Have a great day. Bye.